Hello, everyone. Welcome to It's Sybil. I am Sybil Wilkes, and it's Aprylete Day. Hey, Aprylete, Miss
Yay!
Aprylete, how are you?
I'm doing swell, you know.
You're doing swell. Good for you. I like that. I like that. That's an old school term. And I had an aunt and uncle, actually my granddad's brother and his wife. They were like, "Hey, kid, you're looking swell."
Looking swell. And I'm using it because it's kind of like when people ask you how you're doing and like you kind of just say, "Oh, I'm good." Swell is like, "I'm swell."
Well, wait, so you're really convincing yourself that you're got
Exactly.
it.
That
Got it.
part right there. But today is Gucci's birthday. So
How
we have
old
a
is
moment for
Gucci?
Gucci. Gucci is come on, Gucci Daddy. He's 13.
Oh
Oh,
my! Oh,
oh,
look at him! Look at
oh,
you! Oh, that's what I want from Ramsey. Ramsey
uh-uh,
will not
Yes.
do that.
Oh, cute.
Yes, so we're doing good today because he is celebrating 13 years with his mama.
That's 90 years old, April.
Man, he an old man.
And
It's
does he move around like an old man?
In the morning time because he has
He does.
arthritis. So, those little bones get to hurting him. But right now he's fine. He's just, moving around regular. But that arthritis really gets him in the morning.
Can he tell you when it's going to rain?
You know what? He should be able to. He should be able to. So
Yolanda's dogs are starting to feel the age, the
mhm.
AGE, and it's
It's a real
interesting to
thing.
watch them. It really is.
I don't like watching it. I
It
don't
it
like
it,
watching
it,
him
it
get
hurts
old.
me
It does.
because
Because you
they're used to getting up, and
yeah,
and now it's like they got to hit you
yeah.
and giddy up and all that kind of
And it's
stuff.
just
And
like
and
wow.
and one of them, Aprilette Lawler, our last rescue.
Mhm.
It's just been such a beautiful journey of life with him because he is
Oh,
just so full of
oh,
life and vitality, and every chance he gets he's go run and jump and
Yeah.
play every chance he get. Will he pull a what did he say,
ACL
an ACL,
Mm.
and it has
really
really slowed him
affected him.
down,
Yeah.
Mm.
really. So
And does he
watching
even try to? I'm sorry to cut you off. Does he try to move and stuff like that, and not knowing that, baby, you didn't pull your ACL?
I think he tries to hide it too.
Mm.
Because he's very proudful. I mean, he's because he's I mean, he's Lawler.
Yeah.
Their backyard is built on stages, and while Ramsey stays on the ground,
Lawler
Lawler
is.
is running up and down and back and forth and jumping and
Oh
now
no.
right along through here,
Mhm.
Oh,
it's
poor
not
baby.
working. Yeah.
Mm-mm.
So
Oh,
So
but
does it? Is it gonna get better?
well,
it should be improving.
I'm going to get a part-time job, for
To pay
real,
for it, because
because
baby.
there's a surgery
It's
that costs
expensive.
$4,000 that I am really trying to wrap my head around. But you know what?
Poor.
As I was thinking about that, and I was looking at my husband, because Sybil, we have a date, May 17th.
That's the drop dead date.
Well, that's the
You
date.
have to do it by then or else.
No, that's just when it was scheduled, because you got to
Oh,
schedule
you
it
have to.
so
Okay,
far in advance.
got it.
Okay.
But um, when you watch him, it's worth it. If
And
it can restore him, because what he watching him live gives me life.
and
Mm.
your husband too.
Oh,
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
100%. And my husband and I, we don't have any children and what have you, and we're very we have been very generous
Mm-hmm.
financially. And that $4,000 for real, if we didn't spend it on us, child, please, there's somebody knocking on the
Yeah.
door that needs
Absolutely.
something. Their carburetor went out. The AC in their
Not
house
the
went out.
Yeah.
carburetor.
Well, shut up, Sybil.
Not the
You
carburetor.
know the carburetor goes out.
April, does your car have a carburetor?
Oh, I don't even know what a carburetor is. We said it at the same time. Thank
I,
you. Oh my God.
I have no idea.
It is such a joy to be with you. Can I come every week, Sybil?
April, is that okay with you?
Yeah, I'll share the day for sure.
Okay, okay,
Thank
all
you.
right.
I'll share the day with
Oh,
Yogi.
you're so great.
So it's Miss April and Yogi Day.
Yeah.
Okay, all
Is it
right. There
okay
we
that
go.
I come first before is it cool? Because I know
All
Yogi's
all the time.
thing.
because I really can't commit. I'm just talking.
That's true. That's true. I got that thing.
Girl.
Yeah. I have that
Look at
thing.
the
I'm
time.
hoping tell Miss Aprylete I'll catch her on the next one. Yeah.
Right.
Well, I'm glad you all are well. The weather has been good. Aprylete, did you get out to see the eclipse?
You know what? Okay, so I did not see it because I did not have those special glasses, but I did go where everybody in my apartment complex, we all went to the pool because it was a great view. And Gucci, wow. I know everything goes back to Gucci, but he was so confused. He was like, what is going on? Because the stillness of everything was just very calm.
And did he notice the skies getting darker
I
and
think
then come?
so. I think
Was there a feeling was there an energy in the air that he may have picked
I'm
up
sure, because as soon as it started to get dark, it got really still. And that's when he was just kind of looking around like, something ain't
So
right.
y'all didn't have birds, because we were at a place where we had birds and the birds were going crazy.
I didn't see any birds.
Because these were daytime birds, and because I've been told there's difference. And the daytime birds were out, and when in the middle of the afternoon, it happened like at 1:30 in the afternoon, and but then and they're not used to being out when during the evening time, and so as the skies darkened, they were really they were very confused. They didn't know, and then luckily the skies came back out again, and it was the sun came back out, and it was just.
So how did you enjoy it? Because I know this is your thing, so.
I enjoyed it.
Expectations? I mean,
this was my second one, and the second one with two of the three other people that I experienced it with the last time in 2017. It was Yolanda and me, and our friend Stephen Hill and his friend Lisa. Lisa came to town. Stephen Hill was worried about the cloud cover, so he went to the other end of the country. He went to Maine. He and his wife Shantae went to Maine to see it. And Yolanda, I didn't get a sense of what they felt about that. Did you?
I did.
You did? Okay.
Yeah. He said that it was probably one of the most romantic experiences.
Right. Yeah. He said that.
Wow.
So I think that's what it was, Aprylete. I think the sense of romance. He didn't want to be with the three of us, and he had preferred to be with his wife. So, and I'm not mad at that. I'm not mad at that at all. And as a matter of fact, we're already talking about where we're going to go for the next one, and it's in Africa. You're going to have
Egypt.
a totality,
Oh wow! Well, let me go ahead and put my bid in on that trip.
Aprylete, let me tell you something. These people who I run around with, okay, so we went to Wyoming.
Yeah, I remember that story. Yes, y'all went to
Wyoming. And so we had one girlfriend that flew in from Oakland. And so I was telling a friend of mine about this, and he's like, do any of your friends work? So y'all can just get up and go to the airport and fly to see something that might happen for 4 minutes. I was like, hey, that is their life. That is not my life.
But she will, go with us and be a part of the event. Yeah. So and Ward, her husband, Yolanda's husband, was I still say this, was just rather bemused by all of this. He's just kind of looking around, and I think and I told this before, if he had sunglasses on, he would have really taken a nice nap. That's how into it he appeared to be.
well, but hold on, Aprylete. I don't know if the people out there that you were with, but so they would say, okay, put on your glasses and look up. See that? See that? See that? And I'm like, yep, I see that. Okay, so I tell you what, we're going to come back in 5 minutes. So, okay. So look up. You see that? Yep, I still
So, Yolanda, did you actually see it, or you were just...
No, yeah, I saw it, but I saw the same thing every time I looked up.
Oh, so you didn't really witness anything that was different and spectacular?
Well, it was I did see the slight changes, but I could have waited. I didn't have to go back and do a check every 5 or 10 minutes. I could have waited till it was over with. And then,
I mean, her vision is not that great.
Especially with the crescent moon, it's like, yeah, I see that every month. That's something.
But the crescent moon was the sun.
I know, Sybil.
It wasn't the crescent moon. It was the sun.
The
sun that was the crescent.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, that's something. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, Aprylete, would you like to go to Egypt? Okay. All right. Okay. Yolanda will tell you all about it when we come back.
Great.
So I'm going to change us around as you go.
Okay.
I just didn't want to distract you.
Okay. So let's talk about the What You Need to Know newsletter. This is our Monday through Friday newsletter where we seek to inform and empower our readers. This is stories that have a lot to do with the African American community. Some stories you may look at and go, well, what's that got to do with me? In a lot of respects, it does have to do with our people, and that's why we report on these things. Aprylete is our mental health and wellness contributor, and she is here every week to talk about something going on, and primarily as it affects us, but other aspects of life, overall life, and how that might change. Today, Aprylette is taking a look at this is Autism Awareness Month, and Aprylette is taking a look at that in her column.
Yes. So this was for me very interesting because I don't know much about autism. And so one thing that I found out is that autism is not a mental health disorder. So although it is classified in the DSM, which is the Diagnostic and Statistical Manual of Mental Disorders, it's classified. It is not a mental disorder. So that's really good to know. It is a neurological. Come on, somebody help me out with that word.
You're good.
I cannot do
Neurological,
that.
neurological
Development disorder. And so as I was doing my research, so there's just a lot of misconceptions and a lot of misdiagnosis in the Black community, especially amongst children. And so when it comes to just the healthcare system as in general, we always have faced a little bit of racism and a bit of biases. So a lot of parents are reluctant to kind of talk about just the disruptive behavior that their children are having. So that brings a delay with diagnosis. And then when they are explaining what's going on with their children, a lot of the doctors, this is like from studies, right? A lot of the doctors are just kind of being dismissive or saying that poor parenting styles and different things like that. So it's just like a lot of delays in the diagnosis. And so in a couple of studies that are with Black children in autism disorder, they're saying that they are getting diagnosed 3 years later.
Wow.
3 years later than their counterparts. And so that's around age 7. And so this puts them behind the curve. And another thing that I found out that they don't actually do like a brain scan. They don't do a lab test. Autism is detected through observation. And so if teachers, parents, and doctors aren't observing Black children for autism, then how are they being diagnosed? And also that was super interesting that with the misdiagnosis. So there's a parallel between autism and ADHD. Some of the symptoms are the same. So if autism is off the question, if they're not observing for that, they're going to I won't say they're going to misdiagnose. It is a chance that they're being misdiagnosed as ADHD instead of autistic. And then here we are behind the curve. And how are we going to get treatment and help and all of the resources that we need?
I have a friend, and that happened, and her child was misdiagnosed and lost a number of years in the progress that is made in someone who might be this child's same age, but they were diagnosed much earlier. And had her child been diagnosed at that early age, you can only imagine, and you can see the differences, but you can only imagine how he might have benefited from early diagnosis.
And it's a shame that a lot of the studies, they're not catered to, I mean, like a lot of things. And for us, they're not catered to African Americans.
Right.
And even now with adults, like they're saying that Black women aren't even in the study when it comes to autism in adults. And it's just like, how are we going to
overcome if we aren't even a part of the studies?
We're not a part of the studies. So yeah, that's really disheartening.
It really is. And it's amazing. I mean, if television is anything of a guide, you know, by The Good Doctor, he's autistic and he's done very well by himself. So that is just one thing. But I think that people who have made their lives public, like Holly Robinson Peete, had a set of twins, and a girl and a boy. And at some point she realized that her daughter was accelerating at a faster pace than her son.
Mm.
And she, was very concerned. And so she took control of the situation. And as we talk about in our work with the American Heart Association, being the chief operating officer, medical operating officer of your family, of your
Yep.
life. And she did that. And even though members of her own family, very close members, said, just leave it alone. He'll be okay. He'll be all right. And
Mm.
she
And she's like,
persisted. Yeah,
Mm.
she persisted. And so it came out that her son, her oldest son, is on the spectrum. And but they had the benefit of time and good uh, guidance,
Yeah.
medically speaking. And so now he's just a sweet boy,
Oh,
and is out working. He works for the Los Angeles Dodgers. He's
that's
he's
awesome.
loved by the team and all of this, and it's great to see it. But people are so reticent, and in some cases they're ashamed
Yeah.
of what
Right.
they're going through, and it's a
Mhm.
shame that it's like, well, I don't want to, I don't want my child exposed to this, and
Yeah.
that exposure is probably one of the best medicines.
Yes, it's necessary. And I think that that's why, like, awareness, I love awareness months. Like, I know there's a awareness month for every month of, on the calendar, but I think it's important for awareness months because it just brings a lot of education for people that don't understand. It brings a lot of
Hmm.
help and resources. And I did put in the article 2 resources that, could be linked back if, someone out there needs some help. So
Yeah, and thank you for that. So take a look at what Aprylete has done, and check her out every week in the What You Need to Know newsletter. And she is one of our 4 young contributors in the newsletter. Coy Malone, who also has an article in the newsletter and talks about, and in conjunction with our partnership with Black Voters Matter, is talking about some of the things that we might look at as we approach the fall elections. And everybody talks about this is the most consequential election of our time. And for many people it is, and other people's like, but not understanding why you vote, who you are voting for, and
mhm.
what this will do for you, who these people are, what their jobs are, and how they affect you. And Coy is doing a great job of that in partnership with this. And so take a look at that. And she talks about Jim Crow, and that really is taking us back in history, as well as a number of other things. One of the stories I wrote about has to do with Black people, in that, Aprylite, I don't know if you remember the story. It happened not this past January, but the January preceding, in 2023. And a 6-year-old boy took a handgun from his mother's home
Mm.
and took it to school, and he shot his teacher.
Mm.
And the mother has been charged with having.
But she didn't die.
No,
The teacher didn't die.
she was
Yeah.
severely wounded.
Yeah. I just think that's important too. Because normally when we think of somebody getting shot, we think that they died. So
Yeah,
Fatal.
right.
Okay. So the teacher didn't die.
Thank you. So the teacher was severely wounded. And just one bullet went through her hand and her chest, and it lodged. And
Oh, so she
so,
probably was like, oh no.
and speaking of mental health, she's not been in a classroom since that day.
Mhm.
Oh.
But she is also holding other adults responsible, including they have filed suit, and a special grand jury was impaneled, and the grand jury came back with 8 counts against the assistant principal, a young Black woman by the name of Ebony Parker, and she's been charged 8 counts against her because the teacher, the young teacher, said that she had opportunity after opportunity to know what was going on, and she did not do anything about it. And
Know
this is
what was
what
going
led
on with the
with
little
the
boy?
little boy. People
Mm.
reported that he had a gun. People reported that they saw him with something. And one of the teachers said, the child told me that they saw this little boy say that he had a gun. Can I go and check his backpack? They checked his backpack. There was nothing in the backpack. He had taken it out of his backpack, put it into his hoodie pocket,
Mm.
and she said, "Can I check him?" Or the teacher said, "Can I check this child for this?" And she said, "No."
Mm.
And she would not allow. And so he's too little. Where's he going to hide a gun? And it was that kind of conversation. And unfortunately, Dr. Ebony Parker is now in a lot of trouble. She will go to court. She will face charges, these 8 charges. And so,
Sybil, when I was reading your story, I was really struck because just personally, I have a situation recently where I have a niece that is acting out in school. And
mhm,
so their school is being very proactive about, well, this kid has a problem, something's going on with them, we need to do something, and what have you. And going back to your story, Aprylette, it is just such a fine line because we're so quick to label. And I am one that I was like, well, hold on with the label. Well, let's just see what it is. But I understand that my niece's school, they are paranoid about children acting out. And Sybil, when I was reading, I was like, that's going to make these teachers, these
administrator.
administrators or whomever, even more and more and more paranoid
Mhm.
about their personal responsibility with
Yeah,
somebody else's child.
Yeah.
I
but
mean that.
that's the chance you have to take in order to provide safety for your classroom and for your school.
Right, but on the other side, Sybil, sometimes they overreach.
Yeah,
Sometimes they do overreach, and they put us in categories that we don't necessarily always belong in. I mean, now we're just very quick to say that a kid have autism. Well, do they? Or they might have. Well, do they? And do they really have a mental problem
Yeah.
because they
but
like
should that stop
resting?
them? Should that stop them from doing their
No,
due
no, I don't.
diligence?
No, they should, and I don't have the answer, so I don't know.
Oh, you
Um,
just throw all these ideas and
yes,
questions out there
just
and say, okay,
just for
y'all do with it
conversation.
what you will.
Right. I
It
don't.
should be a
Right. I
balance.
don't.
So
I
it
don't.
should be a balance on whatever is
Not
done.
only do I not have an answer, I don't even have a suggestion that I think is good enough to move towards solving the problem.
Hmm.
Is some people that's a whole lot smarter than me that are in a room right now trying to figure this out. I
And
hope.
it could have been that this principal, this assistant principal, Ebony Parker, said, our black boys are condemned enough.
Right.
I'm not going to be the one to put him in this box and say, just because he said he had a gun, just because he told someone. Uh, but the other side of that is, if I don't, what could happen?
Right.
And the worst thing happened.
Mhm.
As you said, the teacher did not die, but the worst thing
Oh,
happened
100%.
in that this little boy came to school with a gun and used it. And the teacher said that he was in some kind of mood, and he
He was
had a
sick.
he had a six. He
What?
had a history of acting out, so much so that for the better part of the school year, a parent had to accompany him to school every day and
So
be in
something
the
should have
classroom.
been, it should have been intervened before it even got to that
Right.
point.
But
And
it
the
was
one,
intervened because the parent was going to school every day.
except that they had started
That
and said that particular day, they said, okay, maybe we can wean off of, and you don't
Mhm.
have to come every day. And that's the day he
And
took
that's
his,
the day.
his
So
mask.
they're around. They were working on it. This is just such an unfortunate
Yeah,
story, Sybil.
Yeah.
Anyway,
it really is. It really is. So, but I also, I didn't make this point that specifically because it is a little black boy. They have not identified him, but they have identified the mother, and they have identified this assistant principal, 2 black women, and now they're both. The mother has been charged with lying about using marijuana and having a gun and having it in her house, and so she's going to do some time
Mm.
on state as well as, I believe, a federal charge. And
Goodness.
now this assistant principal has been charged with 8 counts of felony child abuse by this grand jury in Newport News, Virginia.
Wow.
And so, 2 black women trying to do something for a little black boy, and the little boy is living with his great grandfather now, and he says that he's changed schools and he's doing very well, and that he understands the severity of his actions.
Mm.
Let us hope, and let us pray that this little boy and their family and the teacher find
Yes.
peace.
Yeah. Wow.
You know, my mom was a Chicago public school teacher, and she used to come home with stories. And she worked in the inner city in Chicago, and she used to come home and say, you know, her students. She was in a 3 and 4 year old program for 3s and 4s, and the little kids, you know, they would like point their fingers at her like they were holding a gun, like, "I'm gonna get you." And she said, "Okay,
Mhm.
okay." And so, and I'm gonna get my daddy because my daddy is a part of X gang or
Oh
Y gang.
my God.
And so she's like, "Okay, have him come up and talk to me." And so sometimes the father would come and meet my mother, and
Mhm.
she's like, I taught you. And now your son is telling me that you're gonna come beat me up. Can you tell
Mhm.
him we're good?" And you know, so it's that kind of relationship that
Yeah.
they had. You know, it's a generational kind of thing.
And
We
now
don't
it's just
have
so
that
different. Yeah,
anymore.
it is so different. It is so different.
We
Oh,
don't have that. And I'm, you know, as much as I miss my mother every day, I'm so glad that she's not here to
and
see these
yep.
kinds of things
Yeah.
because it would break her heart. It
Yeah. Things
absolutely
have
would.
changed. Things have changed drastically. And I
Yeah.
mean, even when I was in elementary school and things like that, just how the teachers were, like things have
Hmm.
changed drastically.
Right.
My favorite teacher name was Miss Jones, and she used to wear her pants up to her chest with this little cardigan. But I loved Miss Jones. That was my girl. I loved her so much.
She wore a cardigan, her pants up to
Her
here.
pants all the way up there with this cardigan. That was her signature look. But I loved her so much, and she was so patient, so kind, and
Oh,
she truly cared about us. Yeah.
that's nice. That's very nice. I just to give you kind of put a button in this and some of the other things that we offer in this. We have Cherie White who does a really great job of giving us health and fitness tips, and um, and she is talking about the 7 exercises for ankle mobility. And this is something we do in yoga every day, isn't it, Yolanda? We work the ankles. We do. I'm doing it with my wrist now, but you know, moving your ankles back and forth, up and down, back and forth, round and round, and other round. You
Yeah.
know, reverse,
That's
reverse,
important.
reverse, as they say. And working on your feet because why, Yolanda? Ankles are how important are they in our mobility? Here,
Yeah, mute.
Very.
Very. Give us go. Can you go deeper, please? Can you go
um,
deeper?
why are they very?
Well, because just think about it, you have a lot of weight on them ankles.
Yeah.
And so
Well,
it
you
is just
don't, Aprylette. So come on.
Yeah, I do, baby. This 32, honey. Yeah, we holding the wagon back there.
But yeah, but you know, Sybil, that's something. But we talk about that a lot in yoga. But just something before yoga, I never talked about how important the ankles were.
And when you think about it, it's super important. Your ankles
Oh
and your feet.
yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
but even you know, I don't know if you were an athlete. I was an athlete, but I used to work out a lot. But even
Mhm.
with all of the training, I've never heard anything about
Mhm.
ankles and the importance of ankles.
Wow.
Mhm.
We just never did any exercises to stretch out the ankles.
We need an ankle awareness month. How about that? Dun-dun-dun.
Really, really.
That's funny. That's funny. All right, so let's move to the what's really going on segment. And Yolanda, can you explain your question a little bit more? Because this is this is something I thought about when everybody was talking about the eclipse and taking pictures and all that. I took pictures of the eclipse in 2017, and I took pictures a couple of days ago. But I also one of my favorite things, Aprilette, one of my favorite sayings, and we have it in the yoga studio, is to be present, to really take in the moment, not to have pictures of it because you lose something. Like when you're in a concert, and who's your favorite artist, Aprilette?
I don't really have one.
Okay, let's just say it's Kirk Franklin.
Okay.
Okay. And Kirk Franklin is performing, and you're like, oh, my daddy will really enjoy this. And so you're taking the pictures, and then you're looking back, and you know,
Mm,
oh, that's a good one. Okay, I'll send that one to daddy, and my mama will like that one. And you lose the
yeah.
moment. You lose all these moments. And sometimes we get so accustomed to taking pictures, and I love my cameras. I love my cameras, but I also have come to recognize that as great as the memories are from the photographs that I take, is nothing like the memories that are created in your mind and being a part of and trying to recapture that in
That
your mind.
experience. Yeah.
Exactly. And
And
so,
even to take that a step further, so in being present, but even when a lot of us, when we take all of these pictures over the past weeks, months, years, how often do we go back and really look at all these pictures that we took? How often do we really look at it? It's like, oh, I really want to capture this moment. But how often do we go back and say, oh, remember when we did this?
Can I bring up a point?
of course,
Please.
Y'all remember like photo albums, like going to like people's houses and they have the photo albums on the like the coffee table. Folks don't have photo
We don't have
albums
that anymore.
that's right.
Yeah,
right.
we don't.
Man.
We don't.
We have a cuter than cute little girl, and I call her Sweet Baby True. And her dear mother is probably watching now. Sends us a picture a day of True. So True, the year of True is in my phone, right? But I wonder because I don't know what would have happened if my parents had another child, because when I go home to Chicago, I can go through those volumes of photo albums, from the time my mom was at her baby shower to, them bringing me home and, and all of that. And that's true. We just don't have it anymore.
Yeah.
And by the time you get to the second and the third child or the fourth child.
Yeah. 'Cause, I got 3 pictures from the time I was born to the time I was 18.
Baby, that's me. That's me. I'm like, did y'all not think I was a cute baby? Where's baby 8? That is literally my life. So you are not alone. And I'm the middle child, so they forgot about me.
Yes, Aprylete. So Sybil's like photo albums of pictures. Like, really? Girl,
And it's so wild because I always think about it. I'm like, well, if I happen to get famous and they want to do a documentary on my life, they ain't got nothing to show.
They gonna have that one picture that they gonna have to keep coming back to a loop.
Ken burn in, zoom out, start at the feet, go to the head.
Sometimes they pull out, I have no place to put these volumes of photo albums.
Oh gosh, a married life. Hilarious. Okay, so sorry I took that turn. Sorry I couldn't go down memory lane with you on that.
But Yolanda, your phone will do that. And it's very interesting that today they did a collage of pictures of Yolanda in my phone.
I love that.
And the awkward picture of Yolanda standing on the Fantastic Voyage with Diana Ross performing in the background, because that's one of her favorite performers. And
I love that.
Yolanda there with Miss Diana Ross behind her.
It is kind of cool that I have chosen not to engage in my phone. That's just something that I've done for myself. But that is cool if your phone, because I'm not on Facebook at all. Neither are you, Aprylete, but I understand they do that on Facebook where they pop up pictures and all of that. And
but there's nothing like a physical copy of something.
Well, I agree with that too. I agree with that too. But it does give you an opportunity, and that's what I want to ask you, ladies. When you go back to the photo book in your mind, if you can just share one experience that you really enjoyed that brings you joy.
I have one off the top of my head, and it comes from a picture, and it's in my bedroom, my childhood bedroom in my home in Chicago. And there's a picture of me wearing a nice new pair of sunglasses, sitting in the sun. And my mom took the picture of me and she said, "You just look so happy and so at peace." And I was in my favorite place. We were having lunch on vacation in Maui. And that was one of my.
I'm sitting in heaven. An escargot and some caviar
in Maui at
Maui.
It was a cheeseburger with Maui onions.
How old were you?
I was actually I was in my 20s.
Oh wow, okay.
So I was able to have an adult beverage,
Mm-hmm.
and we were having some Maui Wowie, not we weren't smoking, but like a Maui kind of
That was smoking.
cocktail, and we were just having fun.
Mm.
And it
That's
was just
awesome.
a really good moment. And so that's what, comes to mind. It was just when I was just totally relaxed, because that's what Hawaii does to me. It just kind of evens me out, mellows me out. And I was with, one of my favorite people in the world, my mother. And
Mm.
we were just having a great time. That was just a really great memory.
Oh, that's beautiful.
That's cool.
So
Dang.
what y'all got?
Girl, you done put me to shame. I'm like,
I already did that with the movie, with the album. I'm not going to do that
Mine is simple. I remember this one time, I think it was like 2010, 2011. But I was managing Ricky Smiley at the time, and we had a gig that we had to go to. But on Thursday night, I was getting ready because we used to go to the club on Thursday night. I had on this. Oh my God, I was so fine. Oh my
yeah.
God, Aprylette, I was so fine. I had on this blue dress,
You
and it was
still are, isn't she, Aprylette?
All time, girl.
every
Okay.
we all have had our day. I'm good. But I
Mhm.
had on this dress and I looked great. And I'm telling you, Aprilette, I danced. That was with Neo Champagne Life. Ooh, I can see it
Woo!
now. Oh my
Yes.
God. Yeah. I can see it. I danced so hard. I had to go out to the car, put on some deodorant,
Period.
refreshing, and go back. And we went out, and me and my girlfriend Tracy. Now, we had so much fun. When we came home, we sat in the driveway
And talk about
and talked for another 2 or 3 hours.
But
And I just came in
that's
and got my
every day
bag.
you and Tracy go out that ends in a
That's
Y.
true.
I
I just
love
came and got
that.
my bag and went to the airport because I had a gig that
Love.
that night. It was so amazing. That
Mm.
period of time was, it has to be the best time of my life. And it's just this little hole in the wall. Well, no, this wasn't a hole in the wall club, but it was another club. Just going to the club and
Yeah.
just dancing so much that you sweat off all of your deodorant and perspiration.
I love that.
Perspiration. Yes.
I love that.
Wow.
Oh, that
That's
was
And
really
no
cute.
pictures were taken.
No pictures, please.
No pictures.
Sometimes it's like that. Mm. So for me, y'all, I really have a bad memory. So even when I look at pictures, I sometimes like I cannot grasp it. It's a real thing.
Oh, that's interesting. Wait. You can see you in a picture and have no recall of that.
Wouldn't know. Like would not. I'm like my best friend. She'd be like, "Girl, you don't remember that night?" I'm like, I don't. Like I don't. So that's very hard. But I do remember. I don't remember this exact day, but there is a picture that actually my best friend sent me not too long ago. It was me and like a couple of friends, and we were out. So in St. Louis, we have like the riverfront. We were out by the riverfront, and it was just like a snapshot of like all things going on. And I could take myself back to that moment.
Right.
And I was probably like 16, 17,
Mhm.
and just outside. I'm just like, why was I even hanging with these folks? Right. I don't even know where they are to this day.
Oh
But
wow.
it was just a time of like freedom. Like I just
Right.
felt free, and it was like it was me,
Mm.
my homeboys, my homegirls, and we was just being 16 and 17 at the riverfront, just having a ball. Like
You wasn't trying to have to figure out if you would go pay your car insurance or you go pay the light
right.
bill.
Right.
Oh,
Right.
talk
Right.
about it. Talk about it. It was just like that pure freedom.
How
And
you
I'm
gonna pay for your dog's ACL operation?
okay.
None of that.
And Gucci wasn't even born in. Like it was
Right.
just pure freedom. And I'm sure my mother didn't even know where I was at. And that was fine.
Ah,
I was
yes.
just outside having a ball. And everybody that I
awesome.
was with, like, like when people just care about you,
Mhm.
I knew that I was cared. Like looking at the pictures, just like, y'all mess with me, don't y'all? So it's just like I felt really cared
Oh,
for in that moment. So yeah, I do remember that.
That's
that's
sweet.
really nice.
Mhm.
That's neat. That's
That's sweet.
really
So
neat.
Aprylette, you and I was in our hood enjoying life. Sybil was in Maui.
Was in Maui.
I just said a different life lived. It's
I was
good.
sitting at the riverfront with folks driving cars and stuff, and she was sipping on Maui's and cocktails.
Cocktails in Maui.
You should have been there.
Man.
And if my mother was alive and know you all then, she would have said, "You girls come along. Come
Oh,
on.
I
Come
would
on."
love that.
and I would have, yeah, I would have loved that.
One of the others, I can see it now, is in high school, we used to have these end of the year carnivals. And I think it was, I'm not sure if it was a senior carnival or if it was student council, but everybody had a booth and was responsible for, the food or some food item or something. And mine happened to be cotton candy, Yolanda.
Ah,
I ran the cotton candy machine. So it's like taking
ooh.
the big, bags of
Don't tell me
sugar.
how it's made. Don't tell me how it's made. Don't tell me how it's made.
Okay. I didn't make hot dogs. It's just the sugar.
I know, but I don't want to
Take away
see
the,
me eating nothing but pure sugar.
well, that's all it was.
I know
That's all it
that.
was. I just take a big old bag, a 5-pound bag of sugar, and just dump it into this. And then you turn the machine on and you go like this.
Oh wow.
Wow.
And you just let the and
Did
and
you eat some of it? Were you eating some of it?
no,
Okay.
never.
Okay.
But there's a picture of me like doing this and then getting people to come over to try some cotton candy, and
Oh.
making a big presentation of the cotton candy. It was so much fun. Oh, those were good days.
And so how old were you?
I was like 16.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I have a story when I was 16. When I was 16, we went to the Bahamas. Me, my dad,
Did
my
y'all drive?
no. Me, my dad, my stepmother, my sister. So I think I was 16. So she was like uh either she was like 12, 11 or 12.
Mm-hmm.
Well, my dad was a very, very liberal parent. And so he's like, you want to try something, just try it, but he taught us responsibility. Well, when we got to the hotel, I've just always been enamored with clubs, and there was a
Mm-hmm.
club. And I was like, everybody gets to do what they want to do. My sister wanted to go I wanted to go to the club.
Of course.
And so, yeah, and so I'm telling you, Sybil, that night, my daddy let me go to the club on one condition.
You took your
My
sister.
little sister had to go with me. And I was fine with that.
Okay.
And I went and I met Dean.
Dean.
Yes. Dean was some old man.
Oh, is he like 25?
So I'm sitting down there in the club, probably with my church dress on, in the
Those
Bahamas
gloves.
with my little sister. Shut up, Sybil. Not the gloves.
Like gloves.
Oh my God. Oh my goodness. Yes, girl. The gloves too. Girl, I remember sitting up there and even feeling foolish myself. It's like, what are you doing? It's so weird. We were so out of place, but I was smart enough. Like, it's like, yeah, this is something, but yeah, let's go back in.
I'm in the club.
And we went in.
With
And
my little
and
sister.
that was it.
That is great.
It was great. Oh my God.
So after you and Dean ran away together, did your daddy come look for you?
No, but what had happened was Dean,
Oh,
from that conversation, Dean, he fell in love. Because when I went back, he sent me a Raymond Will, is it Weil
Yeah.
watch.
Nice.
So he was sending gifts. Yes, girls. I wasn't in Hawaii, what have you, but I was receiving gifts.
You had them smitten over you, baby.
Okay.
You had them smitten.
Shut up, Aprylete. Shut up.
Oh, hell, Yolanda.
Girl, please. He was an islander. It was fake, and he had stolen off of somebody else that had been. Girl, I was living then. It's like, oh yes.
I love
That's fun.
that.
And what your daddy say?
It's always about a man in a club with me, Aprylete, for the record. That's me.
I love it, baby. You better live that best life.
Okay. I think I got the title of my next book, Sybil.
Okay. Okay,
Yep.
A
I
man
think
in
you
the
do.
club.
It's
There once
always
was a
about
man in a
in the
club.
club.
I love that. Ooh.
Do you?
Yeah. No, that's kind of nice. We might have to trademark that before these little folks get it. I like that. Man in
Forget
the
about
club.
champagne live. No,
Yes.
it's about a man in a club.
In a
Man
club.
in the club. Mm.
Woo, y'all was silly. Anyway,
For sure.
Sybil, we gonna live our lives.
Aprylete, you got one more before we wrap this up? You got another picture in your
No,
head?
I really don't.
Okay,
No,
we're gonna have to do something about that
we will.
because you're
We
still
will.
young enough to create those memories.
Yes.
Okay.
And but you know what? But the thing about it, Aprilette, what I say, because you may have, because you don't remember, you might have a lot of other great stories. You just don't remember them.
So we need to get your
probably do.
sister and your best friend
Right.
here and then remind you of some of these things.
Yeah.
Do that.
Mhm.
Sybil, okay, mark your calendar. Aprilette, we gonna bring in one of your girlfriends that you grew up with. So the stories you won't tell us.
Now y'all know. I'm not cool with that. I barely like to tell y'all, man. I barely like to give you a little nuggets. I'm trying to be a little bit more open here, but
Right.
no, I'm not gonna be okay with that.
That's
All
funny.
right.
That's funny.
We'll see. Time will tell.
You know, Yolanda's not a super producer for nothing.
I know, right? She gets stuff out of me. I'm just like, how did we even get here?
Mhm.
Like y'all both do that to me. I'm like, how did we get here?
Mhm. Well, hopefully, seriously, but you're in a safe space.
Yes.
And that we want to encourage you to come out because Aprilette, I'm just gonna go on record of saying this: you're such a beautiful, dynamic woman, and God has something for you to do. And I don't know if you know what it is or not yet, but I just want to publicly put you on notice. God has something special for you to do, and you need to get about the business of His work.
Ooh, I received that. Wow.
Sorry, Sybil.
No. We hadn't
I
had
received
a good scripture reading or a prayer or anything like that
in
a
a
minute.
moment.
Yeah. So,
This is good. I received that. Thank you, Yogi.
all right, Reverend Yolanda, can we move on to
Yes.
can we talk about something a little more tragic?
Oh, again.
OJ died.
I know.
He did.
OJ died, yeah, and brought to the end of an era, a life well lived, but a life just so tragic in the way that he ended up. I mean, here he was.
Tragic for you, because do you see him? Did you see him on Instagram? Did you used to follow him on Instagram?
Not lately.
Oh my God. So we say tragic, but Sybil, it looked like he was living his life.
He was
out
living his
golfing. He always
and that's what made people so angry about OJ. The fact that, here he was, and this is what people said. He killed his wife, he killed his ex-wife, he killed her boyfriend, and he's just walking around golf, scot-free and playing golf every day and living it up with other white women. And, it's like, you're angry because
white women.
Because that's the way they talk. That's
okay. I know.
In the barbershop, that's the way they talk.
That's the way they talk. That's true.
Okay.
Oh, he died. This is real.
No, for real. He died. And once again, this is a cautionary tale. He died of prostate cancer, according to the reports. And when he finally announced it just a couple of months ago, he was already in late stages of
fellas, we really, really have to get checked out. Like that is so important. Goodness.
Yeah. But he had quite a life, from Heisman Trophy, NFL, Pro Football Hall of Fame, MVP of the league, and an actor on screen and television. The Hertz guy. This is probably before your time, but everybody used to talk about running through the airport doing the OJ, and that was how his claim to fame of working for Hertz. But ultimately, his claim to fame was killing his ex-wife and her boyfriend and getting away with it.
Being accused.
The glove. If the glove don't fit,
if it don't fit, you must acquit. He created his time, that whole case, the murder trial, and all the people that were involved in it, created just a panoply of terminology of people's names we may never have known. The Kardashians.
Yeah.
Robert Kardashian was OJ's best friend. He's the one who started out as he and Shapiro were going to run OJ's case, and they realized that they weren't the ones apparently, and that's when they brought in Johnny Cochran. Nobody had ever seen a man like Johnny Cochran, a black man, run a trial like that from the perspective of a lawyer, and in terms of picking a jury from Los Angeles as opposed to going to the suburbs where it would have been a whole white jury, and no telling what the outcome would have been. If it don't fit, you must acquit. Judge Ito. And then, of course, with Robert Kardashian, all of that followed with the Kardashian families. The Ron Brown, his family, Ron Goldman, I'm sorry, Nicole Brown's family, and all of these things and Cato, everybody's got a Cato in their life, Cato Kalin and all that kind of stuff. So many things, so many names, and so many AC. Everybody wanted a best friend like AC. Everybody should have a best friend who's going, like, when you are at your bottom, somebody who's going to drive you in a Ford Bronco, all the way on the 405, thinking you're going to go home to your mama, or that he was going to kill himself or whatever it was. But your boy was there for you.
And that was the infamous police chase, correct?
That was the infamous Friday night police chase on the 405.
I wonder, so they started making like new versions of the Ford Bronco. I wonder, this is probably a reach since he has died, if like the value is going to go up with a Ford Bronco. I don't know. Like I don't know.
Talk about that car not too long ago, and people claiming that was the car that AC Al Collins drove him around in.
Well, Sybil, the only thing that I wanted to ask about this is, can you put panoply in the big A word? I'm not being dismissive of OJ. I was just holding on to that. I'm sorry that he has left us.
No, he had quite an effect, and the fact that he was found not guilty, and put a whole new color on the face of justice or injustice, depending on where you stood in this and how you felt about OJ. Because heretofore, a black man was not going to have the kind of representation that he had and the kind of money that he had in order to buy him justice. And that and it changed daytime TV, because that became the soap opera. It was shown every day.
Right.
Put people in the spotlight like Star Jones and Court TV and all these others. I dare say Sonny Hostin, now on The View, and other people called to television to talk about the case that day.
Right.
It was an amazing time. It really was an amazing time. I'm so sorry that he went out this way. No one ever wants to see anyone suffer like that. And one of the stories I read today is that his friends were coming to see him to pay their last respects because they were told that the end was near. But looking at him, they said that you would never know it.
Wow.
But he changed the whole face of entertainment, of daytime TV, of
how much time did he do?
He actually nothing for the murders, but
right.
He was arrested for was it theft?
Theft, breaking and entering.
He said what he went to was to get his own memorabilia. These are things that belong to him.
Somebody had stole his stuff, so he went and claimed it,
retrieved it, and he was
but you can't
arrested,
do that.
And he was given 33 years in prison, and he did 9.
He did 9.
Yep.
They gave him the 33 to, make up for lost time.
That's what a lot of people said.
So he did 9. Okay. Yep.
So that's the big story today. Yolanda, we're going to close out with, and I just want to say one more thing about his kids. His older children really paid the price for. These are from his first marriage to Marguerite. The second group of children, a boy and a girl, paid the price for the infamy of their father and their mother's death. This is no way that you want to, leave your children and put them in a position like that. But God bless them all.
Yes, God
Yep.
bless
Bless
them
them
all.
all. Yolanda, would you like to leave us with a word?
Yes, this week we have been talking about respite care, and it's just really taking just a short break and just giving yourself a break, a mental, a physical, and emotional, and sometimes even a spiritual break, because you can be under attack. And so we're talking about respite care. And so this on Thursday, I said one of the ways that you can experience respite care, a personal respite care break, is by going on a walk, is by listening to music, and my favorite, doing nothing.
You don't clear off the DVR for respite care?
That is part of my respite care, but that's part of my doing nothing routine.
Oh,
Mhm.
okay. Okay.
Although Leave It to Beaver has been really good lately.
Mm.
That's all you got? Not what's been good about it?
What's
It's
been
just
good about it, Yolanda?
I don't know.
Mm.
I'm just talking.
I'm like, enjoy.
April, not everything is about the club. Almost, but not everything.
What could it be about the clubhouse, like the Wally and the Beeve put together that they built?
Listen to Sybil and Wally and
The Beeve.
oh, Sybil, you're
Mm.
my everything. Thank you for that.
Hey, Wally, what's your beef? Why are you and Lumpy beefing?
But you know, one of the great things about Leave It to, that I just realized last night
Do you know
is
what Leave It to Beaver is, Aprylette?
I've heard of it. I've never seen an episode, but yeah, I've heard of it.
it's on now. It's on MeTV here in this area.
Okay.
But the side characters were the real show.
Mm.
Eddie
Eddie
Haskell.
Haskell.
The
Yeah.
main character name is Beaver.
Yeah, it was
Mhm.
Theodore Cleaver. They called him Beaver.
Aprilette,
Yes.
make an appointment. You specifically would love it. You would love, because it is just really wholesome. Each episode is about, a wholesome tale
Gotcha.
that
Okay.
they experience.
Okay. Leave It to Beaver. I'm gonna
Leave
see
it
if
to
it's
be.
streaming somewhere.
Will you?
I
Will you,
will.
Aprilette?
Absolutely. I will, Yolanda.
It's
And I
the
will.
Cleaver family. It was Ward the father, June the mother, Wally the oldest son, and Theodore Beaver Cleaver, the youngest. And it
As
was
the
Leave It to
Beaver.
Beaver.
Yep.
All right. I'm gonna check it
Okay.
out,
All
and
right.
I'm gonna report back.
Okay. One of these Thursdays, when y'all let me back on, you got to give me an update.
Okay.
I can tell you about Leave It to Beaver.
Well,
I guess we should start a Leave It to Beaver club, huh?
wouldn't that be something?
It probably was, but it wasn't what we're thinking. It had nothing to do with the TV show.
Sybil, I gotta go. Look
I
at the
gotta go
time.
too. Bye, everyone. Have a good night.
Bye.
Thanks, April. Thank